Okay. Sorry for the break in transmission. I'm listening. I'm listening. Oh. Hmm? I'm listening. Okay. So basically, we know that the autonomic nervous system is distributed throughout the body. Hope you know. Do you agree with me? Distributed throughout the body. True of us. Distributed. True of us. True of us. Do you agree with me? I agree that. If there's anything like that. And as you said, they control autonomic what functions, right? Yes. Mainly involuntary, right? Are they all involuntary? Are all of them are all of them really involuntary? You said no. Which one are involuntary and which one are not involuntary? Involuntary and which one are voluntary? I'm listening. Okay, the autonomic nervous system innervates the what? The heart, right? Blood vessels, glands, visceral organs, smooth muscles. True of us? Good. And in the periphery, you see them as what? Nerves, right? Nerves, ganglia, plexuses. So what are plexuses?
Yes, I know. That it stands for the network.
What are plexuses?
Of nerves.
Uh-huh.
Nerves that are formed by the autonomic nervous system.
Network of nerve. Is it only automatic or autonomic?
You give me autonomic nerves. Autonomic nerves.
So plexus is just a network of what?
Nerves.
If you do an anatomy, well, you see here we have brachial plexus here, brachial plexus, network of nerves that supply from here and supply this hand, this upper arm, the brachia. They pass under this clavicle and innervate the muscles of the what. So some come together, join, branch again, pierce different muscles and the structures there. It's called what? Nerve plexuses. Nerve plexuses. But ganglia, as you said, ganglia is now a question of what? Which are neurons, right? Remember we have neuron. One.
Yes.
One neuron. Understand this whole thing now. A neuron join another neuron at synapse. Right? A neuron join another one at where? Synapse, right? So keep forming different synapses, no matter how long it is, right? Now, when you now have these neurons come together, that is already in synapses, come together, they form ganglion. Am I communicating?
Yes, sir.
Am I communicating? Now, a nerve. So tell me now, a nerve now. When you hear a nerve now, what is the relation between nerve and ganglion? Ganglia. Mhm. So now, what is the relationship between nerve and ganglion now? Do you understand the question I'm asking now? What is the nerve? What level of organization is a nerve? Nerve. Huh? You say what? Say it again. What level of organization is a nerve?
Nerve cell now. Cell.
Nerve is a tissue now.
How is it tissue? Nerve cells. We say nerve cells.
Nerve cells make up nerve now.
Okay, nerve cells. No,
You said that you said that nerve is a cell.
That is English to confuse also. Nerve cells.
I think your confusion now is that you're having issues with nerve cells. Forget nerve cells. Say neuron. Leave nerve cells. Neuron is nerve cells now.
Yes.
So nerve itself is tissue now.
Let's stay back.
Is it not tissue? A nervous system. Which one are the organs in the nervous system? A nervous system. Which organ? God bless you. Go far. Brain. Brain is the organ there, right? Right? So nerve is nerve an organ. Is spinal cord an organ or a tissue? A nerve is a tissue. Nerve is a tissue. Inside that nerve, you have cells, which are neurons. And these neurons are packaged in such a way that one forms a synapse with the other one. Now, question of this synapse is called what? Of these neurons in synapse is called what? Ganglion. So inside, is it nerve now? Is this inside ganglion, or is it ganglion that make up the nerve?
The ganglion. The nerve that make up the ganglion. Using your English, you said neuron. Link it up. So it's the nerve that
You are still calling neuron nerves. That's the problem.
So you said neurons are nerve cells. So if neurons are nerve cells, that means
Is neuron nerve?
no.
That's the question. Is a neuron a nerve?
No, neuron is a cell. Neuron is a cell. I mean, nerve is tissue.
I'm not sure where.
See, that's why if you miss this basic, just forget anything I'm going to teach on this topic. If you miss this basic understanding, forget it. You just be playing around. You just cram it. Just cram it. You just end up cramming it and go and pass. And I don't want you to grow like that. So now, see another question now. See another question now. Now, Google check nerve versus ganglion. Nerve versus ganglion. You know what I'm doing now? Nervous is one of the confusing aspects. You know pharmacology that some people, when they get tired, they just cram it and go their way and pass. So that's why I'm doing this. I want to break down this pharmacology first, so you understand which is which. What did you see? And I prefer you to see it yourself. Then we'll discuss it. What do you see? Uh, uh, okay. Okay.
Then ganglion is a cluster of neuron cells. It's found outside the CNS.
Outside what? Okay, which one now? So this one now, which one is inside? Is okay. See what you ask. Nerve, ganglion or ganglia is found inside his nerve. Just type it and see what you see.
Ganglion is found. Nerve is found in ganglion. Nerve is found inside ganglion. Question mark.
So they are not found inside.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
are closely associated.
Is that what?
See the ganglion. They say it's not found inside.
The nerves.
They
Okay.
are closely associated.
That's all. Is that all they said there?
However, some ganglia are embedded near or within organs, like autonomic ganglia.
Okay.
They are still separate from the nerve fibers themselves.
They are separate for the nerve fibers themselves. Then initially, they say that the ganglia is a collection of what? Nerve cells alone, just nerve cells and their what? Synapses, right? And their synapses. What's that?
So are you saying that the nerves are like they are extending their nerve fibers? I know that fibers are smaller than cells. So
Hmm?
are they not smaller? They're smaller now. I feel they are smaller.
No. Continue.
I said
Eh?
like you're saying like nerve are nerve fibers that are extending from neurons. They are extending from neurons. Then ganglion are the bundle of neurons.
Ganglion and what?
Like nerve is like nerve itself, they are extending from neurons.
Okay.
And that what you said that nerve is a tissue inside, and inside it are neurons. So neurons are inside nerves.
Of course, now neurons are inside because they are nerve cells now.
Yes. So
A nerve is a tissue.
like
Uh-huh.
it's saying that nerve is extending from neurons.
Yes. Yes, now, but neuron is inside the nerves. Neurons are inside the nerves.
I agree with you.
Are inside the
Nerves. I agree with you.
neurons are inside. But it's saying nerve is extending from neurons. I don't understand.
It's extending from neurons.
Nerves cannot extend from neurons unless you are talking about ganglia. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. The point I want to make here, listen carefully. I said that in the periphery you have what? This autonomic nervous system we have in the periphery, they include the what? The nerves, the ganglia, and the what? Plexuses. That this answers this question I ask you. The nerves, the what? Ganglia and what? And what? Plexuses. So that means there are some collection of neurons that form what? Ganglia. Is that clear? Is that clear? Now, you know that just as you have that, you know that it's not every. Is it every cell? Is it every cells you found in tissue? As there are some cells that are on their own. They're not inside the tissue. Are you aware? They exist on their own too. True of us. True of us. There are some organisms on their own that exist as cells. True of us. They're not found inside any tissue. They're independent on their own. Am I communicating? Now, by the time we move further, this will make sense to you. So I said that the autonomic nervous system in the periphery, they include the nerves, ganglia, and what? Plexuses. Now let's look at the difference between autonomic and what? Somatic what? Let's look at them so that you find out what actually where they differ. Are we together? Now, okay, before I continue, you heard of efferent and afferent, right?
Yes.
So what are the afferents?
Afferent are sensory.
What are the afferent nerves? Afferent,
One, which one is
I know. Afferent is the sensory.
Okay, let's start with afferent. Afferent is what? Where are they coming from and where are they ending? Afferent. Afferent. From where?
From the body
To the brain.
yeah,
Efferent income.
from the brain to the other part of
No, it's correct.
Afferent is from the body to the efferent
So what are the functions? What do the afferent do?
sensory information.
So the way we now do what again?
When to obtain this help.
Okay, so efferent now will now efferent will now take the
Reference receives maybe stimuli or something.
eh?
And send
Back to the body.
Okay. So now, so autonomic. Let's look at what I want to compare them in terms of their efferent nerves now. For autonomic system, for autonomic nervous system, the efferent nerves supply all body structures except skeletal muscles.
The afferent.
Yeah, efferent supplies all body structure except what? Except what? The skeletal what? Muscles. Somatic supplies what? So if they supply all the body system apart from what? The skeletal muscle, that means somatic supplies the what? Skeletal muscle. Is that clear? Now, you now see why I keep mentioning all these synapses, all these synapses. So
Does it mean that the afferent also supply to other body structures and the skeletal, or just only the
somatic supply more of supply focus on what? The skeletal muscle. The efferent to
yeah.
skeletal muscle. Now, the distal synaptic junctions in the autonomic reflex arc occur in the ganglia. Distal synaptic junction in the autonomic reflex arc occur in the ganglia outside the cerebrospinal axis. Is that clear? Occur in the where? So the synaptic junction is at what? Ganglia. For which of them?
For
Is it autonomic
autonomic, yeah.
or somatic?
Autonomic.
Sorry, this is not in the material again, but that's something I sent you.
Yeah.
For I don't know if you have gone through it. Please try to go through it. It's very important. Eh? I said it because I want you to start from the beginning. Try to have an overview of what is. By the time you now go into drugs and what they do, you appreciate it. So that's why I'm doing all these things. Please, I want you to listen. If you miss out at this point, by the time we start mentioning some things, you may not be able to follow. I know it's physiology, but you also need to talk about it a bit before you go into what. That's why most pharmacology lecture, there's an overview. Even textbook you see there's an overview of physiology a bit before you now go to what? The pharmacology. Even though we know that you have done it or you must have done it, but it's still important to do what? Talk about it before going into this thing. Now, somatic nerves have no peripheral ganglia. Somatic nerves have no peripheral ganglia. So their synapses are within the what? Cerebrospinal cerebrospinal what? Axis. So know that point. Within, yes. Know that point. Autonomic has what? Autonomic has peripheral, right? Yes. But somatic is where? Within the what? Cerebrospinal axis. Of course, when we say cerebrospinal, you know what we're talking about. Axis. Cere means what? Brain, right? Spinal, right? Peripheral is other part of the body. Is that clear? So autonomic goes, but this one is where? Within. Please know that point. So autonomic nerves form extensive peripheral plexuses. They form extensive what? Peripheral plexuses. But somatic system, they don't form such. Is that clear? They don't form. Extensive peripheral plexuses. But the somatic, they don't form such. Have you seen why I said by allowing us to refresh our memory in what synapse and ganglion is? Have you now see the reason why I did that? Now, a very important point I want you to note is that the postganglionic autonomic nerves, the postganglionic autonomic nerves are non-myelinated. The postganglionic autonomic nerves are non-myelinated. But the motor nerves to skeletal muscles are what? Myelinated. Motor nerves to skeletal muscles are what? Myelinated. Motor nerves to skeletal muscles are myelinated. You know what I mean by myelination, right? They have myelin sheet, right? Covered by what? Myelin sheet. Hope you know.
I mean, that's that the somatic
Yes. Now, another point I want to let you know here is that if you interrupt, okay, let me put it. You can write interrupted spinal efferent nerves. Interrupted spinal efferent nerves cause spontaneous activity in smooth muscles and glands. Hmm? Which of them is more in the cerebrospinal axis?
is the
Somatic.
So we are talking about what somatic, right? Mm.
so you said the interrupted spinal current net cause spontaneous.
Spontaneous activity in smooth muscles. Okay, let me put this in a layman in a way that you understand it better. Now you know we have smooth muscles, we have skeletal muscles, right? We have smooth muscles and we have skeletal muscles. Now, if the transmission is if there is interruption, am I communicating? The only effect it will have in the smooth muscle is just what? Spontaneous activity. But that of skeletal muscles we call what? We cause what? Paralysis. Paralysis will occur in what? Skeletal muscle. Now let me throw it to you. Between the somatic and autonomic, which one controls the skeletal muscles and which one controls the smooth muscles? Skeletal, right? While controls the smooth muscle. So, in a nutshell, any interruption in spinal transformation that to smooth muscles way. So you can simply say if there is interruption in the transmission on the what autonomic in the autonomic, it may cause what spontaneous activities in the smooth muscle. But that for skeletal will cause what paralysis. Am I communicating? Of those places innervated, because there will be what? These nerves, they innervate particular skeletal muscles, right? So this will cause the the innervation of these what areas, and it will lead to what? Paralysis. That's for what? Somatic what transmission. But this one, the because you know that in as much as you may see a particular organ, you may see a particular smooth muscle of organ. Like now, let's assume if you go to the if you go to the in some internal organs now, like stomach, that have smooth muscles. It's not only one, they get innervation from different. If you study how these organs are innervated, it's not one particular nerve that go there. They get innervation from different sources. So any interaction can only lead to what? spontaneous what activities. Unlike smooth muscles, that the level of their innervation is not the same thing with that of what? I mean, unlike skeletal muscles, is not the same thing. You may see a nerve that may just pierce a skeletal muscle and go its way. Highest, it may just give us small contribution and keep going its way. But unlike smooth muscles they highly innervated. So if this one is affected, life goes on. Am I communicating? If but for skeletal muscles, like now, if you go and that's why if there's an injection here and you don't follow the quadrant rule, you see that everything, once this sciatic nerve is affected, all the skeletal muscles here is gone. True or false? I would say, can't you see how risky it is? In my own understanding, I would say, can't you see how risky it is? Just because this place is affected. But if you go to cranial nerves now, you see the different cranial nerves. Vagus nerve is there, other nerves are there, contributing to innervation of a particular what organ, not even one, not even two. So that's what happens in terms of if there is any interruption in their what transmission. So that's where we say that if afferent nerves, if there's interaction of the spinal afferent nerves, for smooth muscles it just cause what spontaneous what activity, but for skeletal muscles it can lead to what paralysis. That's the point I'm trying to make. So another point I want to make here is that the let's look at the sensory information, talking about the afferent nerves. Because when you talk about sensory information, what comes to your mind? Afferent, right? Because the sensory will do what? Takes information to where? To the brain, right? So let's look at what? Sensory what? Information. So here we talk about what? The afferent nerves and fibers and what? Reference arc. Okay. Now, afferent fibers from visceral, of course, you should know that one now. You know what a reference arc is? I've been mentioning it. What is reference arc? Do you know what it is? Reflex arc. Oh, I hope this is physiology class. I don't want to go too deep into physiology. I don't want to take us too deep into this, but it's good to talk about it. You should know this by now. So tell me. I'm not talking again. Tell me. Oh yeah. It's coming to your mind, yeah? You have to remember it. So tell me, what is the reference arc? Please, if I ask a question, feel free to look it up. Feel free, don't. I know when I don't want you to look up. Feel free to look it up. Except I say you should not look up. We are discussing. Neural pathway that controls the first. So this reflex action, is it autonomic?
Yeah.
It's highly autonomic, right? I like that. So if it is autonomic now, so you're just talking about the pathway through which everything happens, right? So that means don't be scared of big grammar. Just the pathway through which this information get back and come back. That's what it's all about. Is that clear? Right. So now this we have to try to point out that this afferent fibers now take the information from where? Periphery, right? Periphery now to where? Central. True or false? So that means the afferent fibers are linked to the where? The afferent, the reflex arc, right? So because they need to do that because they need to send information back to where? The central nervous system. Remember, everything start, this information is taken from what? Peripheral nervous system, right? To the what? Central what? Nervous system. Good. So that's the first point I want us to note there. That the afferent fibers from the viscera, when you see a visceral structure, what comes to your mind? Viscera. Yes, right? Viscera, right? These organs, and they're made up of what? Mainly smooth muscles. True of us? True of us? Good. Now, so the information from there, not only on the on your what is it called? We have information also leave there back to what? From then afferent fibers goes to where? The brain through the what? Reference what? Arc. Now, the point I want, another point I want to make is that most of these visceral reflexes are mediated through the what? Central nervous system. Because as they move, they get to what? The central what? Nervous system. With the exception of what's an axon? What is an axon? After today we are going to pharmacology pure, but I want us to look at this today. What is an axon? Because you keep hearing these terms, they keep occurring, occurring, occurring.
Moving away from
Was a part of neuron that what's called carry the neurotransmitter away from towards the
away
Okay,
from the
okay, 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 okay.
subcortex.
Where does he lie? Where does axon lie? Between what and what?
between the cell body
And the what?
and axon
And what? Okay, okay, that's a long distance linking the. I call it the head and the tail, right? Right? I call it, personally, I call it what? Head and the what? Tail. Yeah, but that's not in them anyway. But I just call it for better what? Understanding. Now, so I say that that most visceral reflexes are mediated through the what? Central nervous system, except local axon what? Reflexes. Except local axon reflexes. So what do you say by 10 local axon? Are there local axon? What is by local? What are they? What is by the term local axon? Are there axons that are local? What are they? What do they mean by local axon?
For a particular
You're not with us in this class. Are you with us? Are you okay? You look as if you're not okay. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Yes or no? Say talk. No, sir. Okay. Uh-huh. So who want to talk to us? Hmm? What do you understand by term local accent?
local is local now.
Local is local.
A particular I don't know wetin I dey talk o. Like a particular, just a particular action for a particular,
Location.
not for the systemic
I tell me.
answer.
He said, okay, okay. She now asking that. She now asking like a physiology student. Localized, right?
Yes.
Localized, right? Okay. So now let's now specifically look at visceral afferent fibers, fibers and CNS transmission. So now let's look at it now in detail. Remember we said that visceral afferents, they send what? They send what? They send what? Sensory what? Information, right?
Yes.
Right? Visceral what? So let's look at visceral what? Afferents. So what happens? So whatever the status, whatever happens in the visceral organ, the status, the state, the condition of the visceral organ, information concerning the condition of the what? The visceral organ is sent where? To transmitted through the cranial what? Nerves. Through the what? Cranial nerves. Cranial. I said that you know that the information concerning what is the situation on the ground of the visceral organs, how are they in good condition, is anything going on there, what's happening, the information concerning them is sent through the where? Cranial nerve. To the cranial nerves, visceral, sensory system. To the cranial nerves, there are two parts to it. You have the cranial nerve, visceral, sensory afferent system. They are also sent to the spinal. Spinal. Have you noticed anything? Just the visceral organ. Oh, we have the cranial nerves are there. Spinal nerves are also what? There at the same time, sending information to where? To the brain. And the visceral and the cranial is cranial is parasympathetic. Parasympathetic. While the spinal is what? Sympathetic. The cranial is what? Parasympathetic. While the spinal is what? Sympathetic. So if you understand this whole thing, by the time we start going to the pharmacology of these whole places, it will make sense to you. If I mention vagus nerve, you know what I'm talking about. If I mention cranial nerve, you know what I'm talking about. Is that clear? Yes. So then the cranial visceral sensory system, they primarily carry mechanoreceptor and chemosensory information. I'm trying to talk about the type of information the cranial carry. Mechanoreceptor and sensory what? And chemosensory information. Mechanoreceptor and chemosensory what? Information. Mechanoreceptor. So what it means that anything that has to do with mechanical, right? Mechanical in the what? Those visceral organs, right? And chemo, anything chemical, they sense anything chemical information, mechanical information from the visceral organ. That's what the cranial one does. But the spinal efferent system, the convey sensation has to do with temperature and the tissue injury. The spinal system afferent convey sensation that has to do with what? Temperature and tissue what? Injury. Temperature and what? Tissue injury. Are we together? Are we together? No, I said that the cranial. Are we together?
Yes.
That the cranial one, their focus is on what? Chemoreceptor and what? Chemosensory what? Mechanoreceptor, sorry. And mechanoreceptor and chemosensory what? Information. But the one that for the spinal, their focus is what? Information has to do with what? Temperature and tissue what? Injuries. Tissue what? Injuries. And tissue injuries. Now let us look at now. There are 4 cranial nerves. There are 4 cranial
Visceral. Or
for the cranial pathway, the parasympathetic. You know that the cranial visceral one is parasympathetic. So once I mention, each time I mention parasympathetic now, focus on know that I'm talking about what? Cranial.
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yes.
So this parasympathetic one, they are being conveyed by using through what? 4 cranial nerves. 4. When you say cranium, what does it talk about? The head, right? Is that clear? Please note that. So I said that the cranial visceral information enters the CNS. The cranial visceral information enters the CNS through 4 cranial nerves. Those nerves are as follows. We have cranial nerve 5. Cranial nerve 5. Cranial nerve 5. Another name is trigeminal. Trigeminal. That is trigeminal nerve. So anytime you hear cranial nerve 5, it's known as what? Trigeminal. Trigeminal nerve. Trigeminal. Can you see it? Trigeminal nerve. That's the cranial nerve 5. Trigeminal nerve. That's cranial nerve 5. Then the second nerve is cranial nerve 7. Cranial nerve 7. And that nerve is called facial nerve. Facial nerve. Cranial nerve 7. Facial nerve. Then the next one is cranial nerve 9. Cranial nerve 9. And that name is what? Glossopharyngeal nerve. Glossopharyngeal. Glossopharyngeal. Cranial nerve what? 9, right? Glosso. From pharynx. Pharyngeal nerve, okay? That's cranial nerve what? 9. Then the next one is cranial nerve 10. Cranial nerve 10, vagus nerve. Vagus. Vagus nerve. VAGUS. Vagus nerve. Cranial nerve 10. Vagus nerve. Are we together? So now we have mentioned the 4. These are the 4 cranial nerves that send information to where? The visceral, the parasympathetic one to the what? The CNS, okay? Now, let's look at this. Where and where do they cover? Is that clear? Where and where do these nerves cover? Now, the first one I mentioned, trigeminal nerve, that is cranial nerve 5. This one get information from internal face and head. Face and internal, as internal, okay? That's where they get their what? Information. Yeah, internally. The second one, cranial nerve 7 is called what? This one from the tongue. Tongue, okay? The next one is what? Grosso what? This one is from hard palate. A hard palate. And the upper parts of the oropharynx. Hard palate and the upper part of what? Oropharynx. Then the vagus. Last one is last one, right? Yes. Vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the daddy. So vagus nerve, this one. Hope you are ready. So vagus nerve start from. We have the carotid body. Carotid, CAROTID. Carotid body, lower part of the oropharynx. Which one is upper part of the oropharynx? Yeah. Vagus is carotid body, lower part of the what? Oropharynx. Larynx, you see that it's going down, right? Larynx, right? It's going down. Larynx. Trachea. trachea. So you get this now get information from this part now. Is that clear? Trachea, esophagus, esophagus, thoracic organs, other thoracic organs. That means your lungs is there. True of us, thoracic and abdominal organs. Thoracic and abdominal organs, with the exception of pelvic viscera. So pelvic viscera is not there. So vagus has no business with pelvic what? Viscera. Have you seen how powerful this nerve is? Cranial nerve 10. From here down. From here, what? Down.
Exception of what?
Pelvic viscera. Pelvic viscera. So now, of course, when this one comes, this one come from the cranial nerve, right? Cranial nerve what? 10. Then once you get down to the pelvis now, spinal nerves will now come up. Is that clear? Yes. Spinal nerve. So here now, the pelvic viscera, when I say that something, you know what is innervation, right? Innervation. If you see that an organ is innervated by, what it means that this good, that is this nerve that is that clear?
Yes.
That get information, whatever information has to do with that particular part of the body. So the pelvic viscera are innervated by nerves from the second. We have this. If you look at the vertebral column, remember we have if you look at the vertebral column, right? We have the spinal column, right? Sorry, the part that is close to here, the pelvic region, right? So whatever, every other organ, every other viscera here, the information is from the second spinal to what? Fourth spinal nerves. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So I said that the pelvic viscera is innervated by nerves from the second to the fourth sacral spinal segment. So the nerves that leave this from this sacrum segment. The nerves from this segment. Yeah. So second to the fourth spinal what? Segment. So this is physiology. But it's good to do it. It's good to do it so that because by the time I start mentioning drugs, I'll mention some of these names I'm calling now. I don't want to show whereby when I go, someone will say that I don't understand what this man is saying. So it's better we do it now. Actually, this reason why you do physiology. So you understand how where and how these drugs are acting. Okay, so let's continue. So I have mentioned to you now. So with this I said now is clear. You don't need to be told again that visceral organs, that sensory information from this visceral organ around this pelvic area, that is pelvic viscera, information from there enter the CNS through the spinal nerves. Is that clear? They enter the CNS through the what? Spinal nerve, not vagus nerve. Is that clear? Not any of the cranial nerves. It's from the spinal nerve that enters to the S2 to S4 segment. Is that clear? And that's where they take their names. Okay, good. So muscle chemosensations muscle chemo sensation, muscle chemo sensations afferents may arise at all spinal nerves.
I'm so sorry, sir.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Please, after the rain fell, who entered the clinic? Who go to the clinic? Are you sure?
From our class. From our class.
No one.
Yes.
So we're trying to confirm something. That's it.
Okay. I didn't see anybody anyway.
You didn't say anybody.
I didn't see anybody enter there.
The people that are working.
So many people are entering now.
No, I mean student to I didn't
Àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ náà la rí fún
Wọlé
wọn
wọn
bẹ̀,
jáde.
wọ́n wọlé wọn jáde,
So many
like those workers.
Okay. Did you see any of the workers enter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw
They
them.
said they saw some workers enter, but not.
Workers, can you see them?
Can you identify any of
I
them?
cannot identify.
Yes, I don't know what but I saw them. So many.
Yes, they were wọlé wọn jáde.
Wọlé wọn jáde.
Ṣé o ṣe àwọn bàbá méjì yẹn?
Bàbá yẹn náà wọlé.
Àwọn guys kan náà.
Wọ́n nígbà tó jò dá. Nígbà tó jò dá náà débi. Ìgbà tó jò dá náà la débi báyìí náà.
Okay, so let's continue. So we don't to be told again that okay, I said that last night I said that the muscle chemo sensation afferent.
Yes, ma'am.
Of course, but if I mention this big name now, it's clear to you now. Muscle chemo sensation afferent. What does it mean? It's simple. It's now clear now. Muscle chemo sensation afferent. It's simple now. True of us. We have broken it down. What does it mean? Chemical sensation, right? Muscle chemo sensation. That means it talks about what? Chemical sensation that leaving the muscles, right? To the CNS. It's simple now, right? So muscle chemo sensation afferent may actually arise at all spinal what? Nerves. All spinal nerves. That's the point I'm trying to make. Now let's look at we're talking about the parasympathetic, right? Cranial. So let's look at the sympathetics properly now. So sympathetic visceral. Was there any issue?
Yes, so there's issue.
Okay.
When you were explaining the other time, you said the cranial visceral afferent carries mechanoreceptor and the chemosensory information. But when you want to explain this muscle chemosensory afferent, you said they are from spinal nerves.
Okay. Again. Let me get a question again.
When you were explaining for the visceral afferent fibers, we talk about the cranial nerves visceral sensory afferent. Where you said they carries mechanoreceptors and chemosensory information.
Okay.
But this new explanation you made, you said the muscle chemosensation afferent may arise from spinal nerves. So I don't understand as if they are contradicting each other.
Okay. What did I say about
The cranial.
about this thing I said about cranial? What did I say about it in terms of the? Did I mention anything with respect to that when it comes to the sympathetic? You know we have cranial. There are two.
Cranial is for parasympathetic.
Okay.
Spinal is for sympathetic.
Okay. Yes.
But
Okay.
this explanation, like what I'm getting from the explanation of the muscle chemosensation afferent is spinal nerves.
Okay.
But when we were explaining for the cranial nerves at that time, you mentioned chemosensory.
Okay. Let me get down again. There's something I want to point out. I said that the cranial visceral sensory system primarily understand the word primarily what carry what mechanoreceptor and what
Sensory information.
Okay. Then that the spinal system afferent conveys what Sensation related to what? Temperature and what? Tissue what? Injuries. Then I now come back here again and say that that visceral, that what is it called again? That the muscle chemosensation afferent may arise. The first one is what? Primary.
Okay.
So when something is primary, it doesn't mean that it is. Am I completing? And I came back again. I said may arise. Understand the adjectives and the. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So and apart from and in physiology, see, nothing is absolute, because there can be if you start hearing things like may primarily, that doesn't mean that it's mainly. You see it mainly. You see these words often. Mainly, primarily. That doesn't mean that it may not. It cannot happen. This other one cannot do it, but it's mainly from this particular source. Now let's continue. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, another point I want to make here is that okay. I say that that the visceral sense, that sympathetic visceral sensory what afferent typically arise at what? Thoracic level. Typically. We are done with what? We are done with what? The parasympathetic, right? So I'm saying that the sympathetic one
Okay, sympathetic.
basically arise at what? Thoracic what? Level. That sympathetic visceral sensory afferents
That's also spinal.
typically arrive at what? Thoracic. They also spinal, right?
Yes.
Spinal goes down from where? Thoracic to what? Abdominal to what? To what? Sacral. True of us is spinal. True of us, they are all what? Spinal. Okay.
Thoracic.
Thoracic levels, yes. I want to make a very important point. Listen. Ascending spinal, this will explain what I told you about difference between autonomic and the in terms of interruption. Why after interruption you rarely hear that this one become. Have you ever heard that this somebody say doesn't the stomach has what? Muscles, right? Small muscles. Have you ever heard that somebody's stomach has paralysis? Am I getting? Or some of these visceral organs, because they have collateral. They have collateral innervations. We call it collateral innervations. So it's not just one. This from here. So and it's rare to see that all of them come from different sources. You really hear that all of them become interrupted at the same time. I don't know if I'm coming. If not, they have trouble now. If not, those visceral organs will just stop working. Boom. And just go. You think God doesn't know what He's doing? There's collateral. Even in their blood supply, there's what? Collateral. Even in there's what? Collateral. Except when it becomes so bad. Even in your heart, self. Now tell me, if the heart starts boom, there's collateral innervations, even in blood. That's why before you see that somebody has heart attack, that means it has gone so bad that in fact the coronary vessels are becoming. In fact, if this part, that's why we have shunt. They are shunt. That there must be another way it can continue, except it becomes so bad that the person is so neglected, that it becomes so bad that that's when you see that somebody suddenly go because it has become so bad. You may be having occlusion in your coronary supply, but you won't even know because there is what other means through which blood can still be going. But if it becomes so bad, then there's what trouble. The same thing happened to what innervations in this area. Is that clear? So that's will lead it to the point I'm trying to make now. That the ascending spinal visceral afferents have complex primary pathways. They have complex primary pathways providing collateral that converge at the cranial visceral sensory pathways. You see, there's collateral from the what? Ascending visceral afferent providing what? Collateral to what? Cranial visceral sensory what? Pathways. There's always what? Collateral, so that no matter what, that's why that thing I told you happens. Unlike what you see in skeletal muscle, once this palm, yes, there may be collateral over there, but it's not that you can't compare it with what happens in the what? Viscera. That's why you see different cranial, different nerves providing collateral to help the other. Now, this transmissions we're talking about cannot occur without neurotransmitters. You've done neurotransmitters, right? Right? So you just look at just mention some of these neurotransmitters. Wow, our time has elapsed. Are you serious? See time. What's going on here? We've wasted so much time on this course. See time, 5:21. I didn't even know that time has gone. And we are meant to stop everything by 6 p.m. Sure?
No.
So okay, you mean you want us to stop?
5:30.
Yes.
5:30.
Yes.
You are fasting. Okay, you want to go and pray, or which one? Or want to go and eat? Which one?
Both of them.
Okay, you want to go and break your fast?
No, we don't want to. We have to cook now. So cook or pray.
You pray.
Yes.
I am Muslim. Okay, how many Muslims are here? Let me see. Don't Christian. If I see Christian, if I see you, I'll deal with you. Christian, put your anyway. Christians are fasting, but I know what I'm saying. Please put your hand, Christian. Muslims, I know. I want Muslims. I agree with you. Christians are fasting too, but for now, put your hand. I'm talking about Muslims. Okay, I wanted us to touch all the 3 courses before we go, but I don't think it's possible again. Maybe tomorrow we start with this second, the third one. Good. In fact, it's true. Let's stop here so we can just talk. I think is there any question? Let's stop here because we need to we use the remaining 7 minutes to discuss one or 2 things before you go. We'll stop here. Let's stop. Is there any question, please? Any question? Please, I'll be sending review questions. Yes. Don't play with those things. Try to solve those things yourself. Don't wait for your friend to solve so you can see the answers. Solve it. Find the answers yourself.
Find the answers yourself.
It's very important to find answers yourself. Okay? You appreciate it. You find the answer and find the reason. Listen carefully. It's not just about finding the answer. The reasons why that is the answer is the most important thing. Are we together? The reason why is the answer is the most important thing. It's not about finding the answer. So thank you very much for your attention. God bless you. So now let me ask, I don't know.
Fine. Tomorrow.